Where did the nickname The Count come from? We developed a character named Count Cool Rider.
If you're a fan of car shows, you've probably come across Danny Koker, the charismatic host of the hit series Counting Cars. For years, he's been captivating audiences with his knack for turning beat-up classics and old cars into one-of-a-kind treasures. With his popular TV show Counting Cars, viewers got a behind-the-scenes look at his shop, Count's Kustoms, where all the magic happened. But then unexpectedly he left the show. What really went down? Join us as we explore what actually happened to Danny Koker from Counting Cars. The journey of Danny Koker from cars to fame. Danny Koker, born Daniel Nicholas Koker II, entered the world on January 5, 1964 in Cleveland, Ohio. Growing up in Cleveland, he lived with his parents and sister Kim. During his youth, his family acquired Channel 33, providing him with opportunities to host series like Saturday Fright at the Movies. Danny was probably first exposed to cool cars and how they operated when his father and other family members, friends, and relatives worked for Ford Motor Company. Like many of us, Danny learned the fundamentals of auto repair through DIY and making minimal repairs. He discovered his love for working on vehicles, driving, and admiring them during this time. Little did he know then that this hobby would be the basis for a successful television career. Another one of Danny's great loves is music, which he inherited from his dad, Danny Koker Sr. Danny found out he had a gift for singing when he was young and joined his family band. Danny's popularity did not rise until his first on-screen appearance in Pawn Stars, a television series that revolves around Rick Harrison and his family-owned shop on the Las Vegas Strip. Since then, Danny has been in series such as The Eagle Has Landed and Count 77. He owns and operates Count's Kustoms, a custom shop that produces some of the sickest mods. However, Danny Koker and Count's Kustoms faced legal issues in 2017 when they filed a lawsuit against a former employee, Joseph Frontier, alleging that he had embezzled $75,000 from the company for personal use. But that's not the reason why Danny Koker left Counting Cars, a collector's passion. Danny Koker is well known for his incredible collection of automobiles and motorcycles. In a chat with Christopher Lawrence of the Review Journal, Danny revealed that he has 58 cars and around 70 motorcycles. Among the gems in his garage are classics like the 1962 Volkswagen Carman Ghia, a sleek 1965 Cadillac Fleetwood Broom, a 1970 Dodge Coronet, a stylish 1973 Bic Riviera, a classic 1979 Chevrolet Camaro Z28, and a stunning 1972 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. But wait, there's more. Danny has his sights set on some dream cars, too, with the elusive 1972 Lamborghini Miura SV at the top of his list. Money isn't a problem for Danny, but finding this rare gem is another story. As of 2019, Danny's car count had soared over 100, making his collection exceptional. Among the highlights are the jaw-dropping 1966 AC Cobra, valued at approximately $2 million today, and a sentimental 1966 Mustang GT350, a gift from his dad that sparked his lifelong passion for cars. When asked about his obsession with collecting vehicles, Danny jokingly admits to the Globe and Mail, "I'm addicted. I suppose I need an intervention." With an assortment ranging from high-performance exotics to classic sports cars and hot rods, it's clear that Danny's love for cars knows no bounds. However, beyond his impressive collection and his immense love for cars, fans were left wondering about what actually happened to Danny Koker from Counting Cars. Self-taught mechanic. Danny Koker's journey into the world of automobiles began in his teenage years when he acquired a beat-up car. His passion for car maintenance, nurtured since youth, laid the foundation for the success of Count's Kustoms. This success opened doors for him to appear on popular shows like Pawn Stars and American Restoration, both airing on the History Channel as well as his own spin-off Counting Cars. With 10 seasons, Counting Cars was a massive hit for the network, and it was clear that Koker was passionate about every automobile that appeared in the show. With Count's Kustoms having the reputation of being one of the most well-known car customization and restoration businesses in the field, one would assume Danny would have received considerable mechanical training and education. Contrary to popular belief, in an interview with American Profile, Danny Koker revealed that his formal education was limited to high school where he primarily focused on standard shop and automotive classes. Aside from that, it was as simple as getting your hands dirty, disassembling things to discover how they work, with the next step being to figure out how to put them back together. Given that Danny Koker is essentially self-taught in automotive customization and restoration, it is evident how much effort and commitment he has put into his trade. Koker is a highly proud self-made man and counts Kustoms success as an authentic tribute. Fans will believe that Danny Koker can restore anything, and many will assume he could accomplish it with his eyes closed. A fan once questioned him about the one vehicle he could not rebuild. Koker remembered seeing an early to a mid-1960s Ford Rancherero at an auction. Koker purchased it because it was inexpensive and he believed it would be fun to fix up. However, to his dismay, Koker discovered that the Ranchero was not as valuable or entertaining to fix and returned the vehicle to Count's Kustoms. It was discovered during the examination that the automobile was completely composed of rust and was in terrible condition. Koker said that everything could be restored and if he had $1 billion and an old Ford Falcon Ranchero, he could have fixed it. However, the car would have likely been useless even if he had taken that action. Never wanting to pass up an opportunity, Koker converted the vehicle into a Ford Rancherero pool table at a Las Vegas hotel rather than into a drivable automobile. Danny Koker developed an early addiction to motorcycles and autos, but his first car, a 1979 Camaro Z28, set him on the path of restoration and personalization. Even though the Camaro was Koker's first vehicle, he decided to disassemble the entire car and personalize it from front to rear. Koker converted the Camaro into a street racing Can-Am vehicle. Nostalgia be damned, Koker, who doesn't want to discard memories entirely, still owns the car, displayed with pride in Count's Kustoms. The Camaro needs another restoration because Koker hasn't modified it in a long time and it has been sitting in the shop for years. Danny Koker must have a special place in his heart for the 1979 Camaro Z28 to remain in his extensive collection even after all these years. Count's Kustoms as a hobby. Danny started Count's Kustoms as a fun project, but it quickly grew into one of the top modification shops in the country. At the shop, they do everything from upholstery to paint jobs and even frame build-ups. Big names like Matrix, Dakota Digital, Classic Instruments, and Flaming River sponsor the shop, showing how respected it is in the industry. In interviews, Danny, the leader of Count's 77 team, proudly mentions his dedicated staff of about 45 who work tirelessly to create innovative projects. The popular TV series Counting Cars. Over a decade before Counting Cars, Danny Koker made a name for himself at his custom shop, Count's Kustoms, by performing miracle makeovers on old, unloved cars. With his store in Nevada, he began to create a reputation for himself in the sector. Before Counting Cars, in several Pawn Stars episodes, Rick would consult Danny as his local expert when valuing some of the fantastic old muscle vehicles that would come into the shop. DY's partnership with Pawn Stars lead singer Rick Harrison may have been one of his most profitable businesses. In 2012, the History Channel decided to start a spin-off show called Counting Cars, in which the cameras would accompany Danny as he restored and rebuilt various interesting cars from forgotten eras. The show was a big hit lasting 10 seasons. Counting Cars premiered in 2012 and has been one of the History Channel's most successful shows with celebrity guests including rock singer Alice Cooper appearing on the show. Danny Koker took over as the show's executive producer in 2014. Apart from the series Counting Cars, Danny also created the Count 77 band. Count 77, a Las Vegas-based hard rock band, released their debut album with Shrapnel Records on April 29, 2014. The twin guitar duo of John Zito and Stoney Curtis, the latter of whom has an extensive following as a recording and touring blues musician, are the driving force behind Count 77, which has its roots in 1970s hard rock with musical influences ranging from Thin Lizzy to Foghat, the Allman Brothers and Led Zeppelin. Count 77 was positioned to be a leader in the new classic rock renaissance with a sound evocative of one of the greatest musical eras of all time. Koker, Count 77's dynamic frontman, was singing long before he rose to international fame. He splits his time between his passion for music and his automotive love. Count 77 has performed for thousands at motorcycle rallies and large-scale business events. It is quickly gaining exposure and being requested to headline performances in Colorado, Texas, Mississippi, Chicago, and other places. Over the years, the Count 77 musicians have appeared on several TV shows. Counting Cars provided Koker with a platform that put him in front of millions of viewers each week and allowed the band to be featured on the show with admirers across the United States, Canada, South Africa, and Europe, including the United Kingdom, Poland, Romania, Spain, Germany, Japan, Israel, and South America. Count 77's fan base is expanding into new areas. His TV debut at the beginning of Counting Cars was his most memorable appearance. The program has a broad audience in 160 nations including India. In the first episode, Richard Harrison, a friend from Pawn Stars, visited him and gave him a 1968 Mustang Fastback to work on. Aside from appearing in Pawn Stars and his own show, Danny Koker has appeared in a few other programs such as The Weekend in Vegas, American Restoration, All You Need to Know, Sema, and Chris Angel, Mind Freak. But these guest appearances were also not the reason behind Danny's departure from Counting Cars. The Counting Cars crew. Taking up TV with a creative crew was far from being a walk in the park. To make counting cars realistic and a favorite of car lovers, Koker had the help of what many regarded as a multi-talented crew. The most popular of his crew members is Danny's longtime best friend and supporter, Kevin Mack. Since the early years of the series, Danny and Kevin have been as tight as a knot. They are usually together on extended trips, invested in finding potential cars that can be flipped into incredible designs. Over the years, Kevin has served as a backbone for Danny and the show. By extension, Kevin has always been on the lookout for whatever Danny missed in a rush or when he made poor judgment calls, ensuring that the final product met their high standards of quality and craftsmanship. When the show needed someone to step up for some intense tasks, Kevin has always been the go-to guy. It does not hurt that he also got to test drive many of the new inventions as well as the cars they would buy from strangers. Overall, what many would regard as his primary responsibilities are funding, planning, and budgeting. Before they became a risk to take, Kevin ran and approved all increased expenses and material prices. Another vital part of the team was the muscle behind the reconstruction of several of the unique inventions that went on in the workshop. Shannon Shannon worked as the lead builder and manager of the bike shop at Count's Customs. The Gentle Giant's artwork and craftsmanship have left many viewers envious of his skills. Some of the most mind-blowing designs and installations suggested and worked on by Shannon served as the needed push for the vehicles required to be outstanding inventions. If you were a seasoned audience member of Counting Cars, you would know that Shannon's artistic streak was not limited to the workshop alone. He also served his friends gourmet meals and hosted a cookout for the CC crew. Ryan Evans' calm and warm persona ended to fans as one of Counting Cars' most beloved crew members. Alongside his partner Mike Henry, he served as the team's airbrush stylist, contributing to the vibrant colors and intricate patterns adorning the vehicles. Renowned as a master graphic artist, Ryan took the helm as the shop's lead painter, joining the team based on Shannon's glowing recommendations to Danny. In most episodes, fans were curious and excited about Ryan's latest vehicle of focus and his rebranding of colors, which made even an artist's jaw drop. With horny Mike's ideas and curiosity to explore as much as he wanted with colors and designs, and Ryan's ability to present them to perfection, the team hardly lacked creativity of any kind. Mike's combination of color and rebranding of cars has led to several successful sales and the invention of eye-catching yet durable vehicles. Count's Customs functioned fully because of the behind-the-scenes team members who ensured that the operation ran as smoothly as possible. Scott Jones played a pivotal role as the manager, maintaining balance by overseeing bookkeeping and financial records for the team. His direct and businesslike approach ensured adherence to original plans while also supervising profits and losses, keeping the team on track. Occasionally, Scott and Danny found themselves in heated debates over budget priorities and trade-offs to ensure profitability. However, fans only witnessed these exchanges for 2 seasons before Scott's departure from the series following the birth of his son. Speculation arose among fans regarding Scott's absence, with some unfounded rumors suggesting he was fired for embezzlement, a claim that was later debunked. If you've ever wondered how the cars end up having very lovely angles and sparkling bodies, well, it has been all due to the work of the team's detailer, Rolly Sobo, who specialized in cleaning and polishing Count's Customs vehicles. Fans primarily knew Rolly for his thick Hungarian accent on the American show and his memorable prank of attempting to burn out in a small electric car, which both amused and terrified fans. His sudden departure from the show before the 7th season was unexpected and unexplained. Many unanswered questions linger regarding Rolly's departure from Counting Cars. According to rumors, he became weary of being in the spotlight as a result of a theft of his equipment worth thousands of dollars. This unexpected attention likely proved frustrating for someone unaccustomed to it. Other rumors suggest he left Count's shop on bad terms, but Rolly has yet to provide a definitive explanation. This lack of clarity has led some to speculate that he may have been fired. Nevertheless, Rolly has evidently made a significant change in his life in Nevada and seems to be doing well for himself by running a successful detailing business. The most notable restorations by Danny Koker. Danny and his group of skilled technicians and bespoke car builders have worked on some fantastic cars over the years. These are only a handful of the more noteworthy car builds out of hundreds that have been featured throughout all 10 seasons. Rick Harrison of Pawn Stars fame also brought in a vintage Mustang Fastback to be featured in the first episode of Counting Cars. When Danny received it, it was rough, but Rick insisted that he wanted it made into a low-budget bullet tribute. After Danny and his crew worked their magic on the vehicle, around 180 episodes were produced, indicating that the fans were pleased. Though it differs slightly from the team's typical muscle cars, this Dune buggy was completed excellently. It was agreed on a custom paint job with various shades of blue, and the rear lights were lifted from a vintage Mustang to give it that special Count's Customs touch. This vintage Volkswagen is also one of the Count's more subdued constructions, but it's nonetheless one of the team's most unique challenges because the car was intended as a gift for a crew member's wife. Every crew member put their all into creating an exquisite work of art for her. With its glossy crimson finish and vintage chrome wheels, this car gear exudes a trophy appearance. Although the 1950s Chevrolet Gasser was unusually great, Danny and his crew outdid themselves with its renovation. After a fantastic pinstripe paint job, a big block V8 engine was added under the hood to give the car some bite to go with the bark. Undoubtedly, this one is one of the most fantastic creations from counting cars. Another favorite with fans glued to their screens was creating an all-time classic vehicle, Sparkles 2, fondly known as the June Buggy. What was different about this car was the unexpected yet astonishing outcome, which was different from what fans had in mind. Compared to the usual muscle cars the team had reinvented, this car, albeit custom-made, had the semblance of a Mustang with its rear lights. However, its unique blue paint and body design can only belong to the category of works in Count's Kustoms. The drama and the lawsuit. Count's Kustoms, led by the energetic Danny Koker, enjoyed the spotlight with their popular TV show Counting Cars. However, the shop's journey hit a bump in 2014 when they faced a lawsuit from a determined couple, Janet and Paul. They had handed over their beloved 1967 Ford Mustang to Count's Kustoms, hoping to see it transformed on the show. However, their excitement turned to disappointment when they discovered no work had been done. Feeling betrayed, they demanded a refund, but it never came. Left with no choice, they took the matter to court, accusing Count's Kustoms of deceit. The courtroom became a battleground as accusations flew. Janet and Paul sought justice for their Mustang while the world watched to see if Count's Kustoms would prove their innocence. It was critical for Danny Koker and his team to test their reputation and honesty. In 2017, a shadow fell over the close-knit family at Count's Kustoms as they were entangled in another lawsuit. This time, the focus was on a former employee named Joseph Frontier. Once highly regarded, Joseph stood accused of serious wrongdoing. The accusations were shocking, claiming he had stolen money from the company that had supported him. It was as if Joseph had betrayed their trust, sneaking away with funds meant for the business. Instead of using the money for growth, he allegedly spent it on personal luxuries like a fancy car and trips abroad. But that wasn't all. The lawsuit also accused him of neglecting the company's tax responsibilities, leading to trouble with the IRS. This legal battle put the shop in big trouble. What actually happened to Danny Koker? In 2021, Danny Koker pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor charge for illegally stealing a 2008 Cadillac Escalade from a tow yard. He was sentenced to 3 years of probation. This happened in November 2019 after an automobile accident when the owner, owing to financial difficulties, abandoned the vehicle at the tow yard. Because the owner was having trouble getting the car back, they gave the tow yard permission to sell it. But the owner's friend, Danny, stepped in and arranged to have the Cadillac towed to his repair business so he could fix it and give it back. Danny broke the law in Nevada by taking a car out of a tow yard without the owner's permission or a warrant. Danny reached a plea agreement with prosecutors which resulted in a reduced misdemeanor conviction after initially facing grand larceny auto charges, a felony carrying a possible jail sentence of 10 years. Danny had to do 80 hours of community service and pay the tow yard $25,000. That was the deal. During his probationary term, he was also prohibited from owning or carrying guns. In addition, in 2018, another legal battle with 2 former employees started. Koker alleged that they had embezzled funds from Count's Vamped Rock Bar and Grill, claiming they had stolen from the bar safe, tampered with financial documents, and transferred money to their personal accounts. The complaint demanded $376,000 in damages. The case escalated into a criminal inquiry, which resulted in the search and seizure of the residences of the departing workers. The 2 departing workers were apprehended and returned to Nevada in December 2019 after their arrest for embezzlement and theft. Danny Koker was arrested in March 2020 after police found evidence linking him to the Cadillac incident during their investigation. Danny was originally facing a criminal charge, but his attorney successfully proved that his client was acting in good faith by assisting a buddy in need, resulting in a reduced charge and a probationary term. The legal issues that Danny Koker has been facing have greatly impacted both his personal and professional life. In addition to the financial losses and legal consequences, his reputation has also taken a hit. Danny has been the target of criticism and outrage as a result of the intense scrutiny his public persona has brought from the media, fans, and the automotive community. Despite the legal issues, Danny has promised to make amends and move on. But that wasn't the end of his story. In 2022, he shocked everyone by leaving the show he was famous for. People wondered why he left, and they soon found out it was because he was seriously ill. He had pneumonia, which made it hard for him to breathe, and a nasty infection in his heart. It seemed like he would not make it, but Danny didn't give up. He fought hard and made it through. It was a long and challenging road to recovery, but Danny returned stronger than ever. He returned to his shop, Count's Customs, where he's the boss and main mechanic. Even though Danny is not on TV as much anymore, he is still the heart and soul of Count's Customs. Danny puts his heart into every car in the shop, and his passion shines through in his work. But Danny's talents don't end with his mastery of vehicles. Koker, known for his love of music, has returned to his roots with his band, Count 77. The band, rocking a 70s metal vibe, was formed about 10 years ago and is still going strong. Koker's wife, Corey, also gets in on the action by managing their bar, Count's Vamp Rock Bar, in Las Vegas. It seems Koker enjoys balancing his passions for music, family, and friends along with his interest in cool vintage cars. He's living the Vegas life to the fullest. What are your thoughts on Danny Koker's car restorations? Do you think the team is renewing a season? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification button for updates on new videos.